So for an example, I wanted to walk through kind of a partner journey, and I think many of you in the audience are probably wondering, like, how do I get started? And is this something I can just do overnight? And the reality is that for most sites and companies, that's just not possible. And so we have to think about this as kind of a long-term journey. An example of this is West Elm, and West Elm is a retail furnishings company, part of Williams-Sonoma, and Williams-Sonoma, is a specialty retailer, for the home, covering 8 distinct brands, including Pottery Barn and West Elm. Next slide. So West Elm launched a beta last November, and then they kept the beta as a separate experience, and then they started to direct some of that traffic there. And the reason why they launched a separate beta was because they wanted to be able to experiment and build something pretty quickly. And then after some usability testing, they saw really positive feedback. And then they started to roll out to 10% of their traffic and continue to see overall positive metrics. And as this traffic experiment was looking really good, the team went heads down to kind of re-architect their platform. Again, they owned 8 distinct brands. So they wanted to see if they can translate the learnings from West Elm and make it production ready across multiple sites. And so they built this really high bar that, at West Elm, and then they wanted it to make sure that it translated to other parts of the company. So this was a huge undertaking, but was worth it to deliver a much more engaging user experience. Next slide. So one of the things that I wanted to point out is after they rolled out to 25% of their traffic, they saw an overall increase in time spent as well as a lift in revenue per visit. Next slide. And after they saw those numbers, they went ahead and moved forward with rolling out across all of their sites, and they're in the process of doing that now. Next slide. Another example I want to talk about is Debenhams, another Mobilify client. It's a UK chain with 240 department stores in 27 countries and gets about 200 million online visits last year. They're the first UK-based retailer to implement a progressive web app, and their mobile site has been growing at around 20% year over year and accounts for 1/3 of their revenue and 55% of online traffic. Next slide. So Debenhams kicked off their PWA build with Mobilify last June, and then 4 months later, in the first week of October, Debenhams launched their progressive web app to 100% of their traffic. 3 weeks later, their CEO announced the launch of their progressive web app in their full year results call, saying that they've already seen double-digit growth in mobile conversion rates. And by the end of the year, last year, marked the first time the mobile web revenue surpassed desktop revenue in peak trading. And so this month, they're rolling out their tablet progressive web app. Next slide. And so Debenhams saw approximately a 20% conversion rate improvement and a performance increase of 37% in their checkout flow. They also started to see a behavioral shift in their customers who engage with the site during their commutes to work. And commuters went from browsing the site on their way to work to purchasing to checking out their mobile device during their morning and afternoon commutes.